friend of mine's going to Iceland for training.
Who's going to Iceland?
A friend of mine that I work with.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, ma'am. So thank you, ma'am. Thank you. All right.
Jeez Louise.
Whoa.
Now you guys are good?
Are we on the air now? It finally happened? All right.
Are we?
Live.
Oh, no.
I think we're here. I think we hear some crunching of the
Sorry,
chips.
I'm eating chips. Sorry.
Welcome to Call It in the Ring. We're back here. This is Kevin Kittredge along with the Tony Sanchez.
Hi.
And we're going to talk
there we are.
about some Monday Night Raw, some WWE SmackDown. We're going to look ahead to the Elimination Chamber. Both of us drove from the Valley, which is very far away. So
yeah.
So we didn't see SmackDown. So we're going to have to...
Wait, is SmackDown on tonight? It's on Tuesdays? I'm sorry. When did that happen?
SmackDown has moved to Tuesdays.
When did that happen?
And they made it live. They were trying to do its best to make it as Raw equivalent as it could.
Instead of placing it on Thursdays.
And tapes. So like people like me would read the results and be like, why am I going to watch that? Or, once every 6 months, hey, I should check that out.
Yeah, I apologize. Some of you guys might already know this, but I haven't watched wrestling in years, like consistently. Very much a old school, golden age, Attitude Era fan. So
we were briefly talking. You were telling me that your hero growing up was Bret the Hitman Hart.
Yes, I love him.
And I was in the middle of a story that I stopped because I realized that we weren't actually on the air. But I'm going to start the story from the beginning. A friend and I, we snuck backstage at the pond, which is now the Honda Center, but
Always the pond.
Always the pond. T-Wolf, the Typhoon Ranger. Is that somebody new?
That's a great name.
Welcome, T-Wolf.
What's up, man?
So we snuck backstage and we saw a whole bunch of people, and it was just a house show. And we were like, man, we're backstage, and they think we're allowed to be here. So should we actually go out and watch the show, or should we hang around backstage? And Bret Hart apparently came to house shows late all the time. It was just well known that he did that. And we were like, man, that would be the one thing that we would stay for. It would be to meet Bret. And we thought, you know what, we'll get him next time. And it was like a month before Montreal.
No, how could you? No, you didn't get to meet him.
We didn't get to meet him, no. And he was my buddy's hero as well. Did you ever read Bret's book?
No, I haven't. Yeah.
I was always on Vince's side during the Montreal Screwjob. I always took the position that the championship is not yours. It is decided that you get this, and Vince is the boss, and you say whatever Vince says goes.
What are you saying, Kevin? Oh my God, continue.
But then I read the book, and I got some details that a lot of people know now. I don't know if you know, but there was a time just before Montreal where Bret was like, "Listen, Shawn," he was talking to Shawn Michaels. "Shawn, I guess Vince wants me to drop the title to you. I just want you to know it's not between you and this heat isn't us. It's not you and me. It's me and Vince and the company and the contract issue. It's not us. So when the time comes, I'm happy to drop the title to you." And Shawn, who was a cunt, said, I appreciate you saying that. I just want you to know I wouldn't do the same for you. How does Bret say, okay, I'll lose to that guy then? How does Bret say, what utter disrespect?
Yeah.
So there we go.
Well, at least he's honest.
Okay, so who are you current with? What do you know about the TV wrestling of today?
I once upon a time went to school with Lana. And
Get
that's about
here.
the extent that I know. I know that Lana is on there. I know that Rusev is on there. That's about all I know. I don't.
Oh, you reminded me. Everybody.
I don't keep up, and I'm so sorry. It's basically just because we've been following each other, or at least I've been following her. Because social media was a thing. Even way back when. Early millennium. So it's just that eventually her Twitter name changed to Lana sometime along the way. So yeah, that's pretty much the only way I ever know. Whatever she posts is pretty much all I ever know. So.
Well, you did remind me, so thank you. I feel bad for not saying this at the top. Happy Rusev Day, everybody.
Happy Rusev Day. I'm not even sure what that is. I just know
I'll
that's
tell you
a
what
thing
that is.
on the internet.
Is one day Rusev and his buddy Aiden English decided to call today Rusev Day. And then the next day...
This actual day?
Well, interesting you say that.
Okay.
Because every day is Rusev Day.
Aw, that's nice.
And Rusev, every time he says it, it's like it's the first... It's finally, we waited for Rusev Day, and it's finally here. It's
Are there
just
presents
wonderful.
on Rusev Day? What happens on Rusev Day?
I mean, honestly, there should be. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's not an official rule book, but they did come out with a calendar.
Are there any candies and chocolates or anything? Or celebrations, a parade? No?
I'm in. I'm into all of this.
Okay.
But they came out, they legitimately put up a calendar, and they sold out, and the calendar every day said Rusev Day on it, and they sold out.
Yeah,
And-
so unfortunately, I haven't watched in years, and I'm so sorry that I'm not current. I'm just an old fuddy-duddy.
That's right. That's all right. That's all right. We'll figure it out together. I'll tell you how bad things are these days.
Okay.
Yesterday on Monday Night Raw, they talk about how there's just a whole bunch of talk a lot.
Yes.
There were only 3 matches on Monday Night Raw and a 3-hour Raw.
Is it still? Wait, how long is the broadcast?
Oh, it's over 3 hours long. Okay, now I say that, but it's I say that tongue in cheek because one of them was it literally over 2 hours that Gauntlet match went. So we have the Elimination Chamber coming up on Sunday.
Okay.
And it has 7 people in it.
Okay.
And so they did a Gauntlet match on Monday, and it started off with 2 guys, and then one person would whenever somebody got beat, the next guy who was in the Gauntlet, who was in the Elimination Chamber, he would come out. So it was a very,
It's a
very,
mini
very
Royal Rumble?
the kind of a way to put it, except nobody came in until somebody was eliminated. So it's just like, oh, I beat him. Who's next?
Got
I beat him. Who's next? And for over an hour, Seth Rollins was the man. Do you know who Seth Rollins is?
I do not know.
He's got some abs. That's all
So
I can tell ya.
wait, so this is the 7 right here that I'm looking at right now?
Yeah, you can't
Okay.
really see his abs there.
Oh, which one's Seth?
He's the second one from the left. He's got the facial hair right next to the Miz.
Okay.
I think that Seth is he's a big part of the future of the company, as well as the guy on the far right. He's Finn Balor. I think he is also.
Yeah, I've always sort of heard these names because I mean, even I watch a lot of nerdy internet, and a lot of nerds really love their wrestling. So
What?
I'm familiar with some of these names, in passing. But unfortunately, just name recognition is all I've got. I know nothing about them. I don't even know if these guys are good or not. Or so you're gonna have to fill me in on that.
All right. Well, let's go. We already talked about Seth and Finn, who I
Yes.
think are absolutely fantastic. John Cena. Obviously, we know who John Cena is.
I know who John Cena is. I'm very acquainted. Yes.
Do you know about Roman Reigns?
I'm aware of Roman, but I've never actually seen the man wrestle.
Here's the thing: Roman's not a bad actor. Listen to me. He's not a bad wrestler. He's all right. But Vince made the decision a couple years ago that he's our new guy, and he started shoving him down our throats. And I'm like, I'm not ready for him to be the man yet, and you shouldn't be either. So that's why people like me don't like him.
Okay.
There is The Miz, who you are familiar with.
I'm very familiar with The Miz because I do remember when he was still Mike from the Real World. So, yeah, very familiar with him.
And there are 2 more guys. One of them, his name is Braun Strowman.
What?
He is a monster.
That's not a real name.
Well, it's a wrestling name.
That's amazing.
I'll give you that.
That's fantastic.
Strowman.
Okay,
He's a monster. He's getting pretty good.
Getting pretty good?
Getting pretty good.
Okay.
I last week I mentioned how I find it tough to give a chance to these big monsters who's just big guys. But he's actually pretty agile. And he's showing some personality, so I'm trying to open up and.
So you're not a fan of just the big intimidating guy in the corner?
No. The choke. The
So you
chop
just
on the
couldn't
top
stand
of the
Kevin
head.
Nash,
I like Kevin Nash, but he's got personality.
He does have personality.
And as they say in Pulp Fiction, personality goes a long way. And finally, speaking of personality, there's a fellow by the name of Elias.
Elias. It's a good name.
I walk with Elias. Elias is, he's a bit of a drifter. Comes out with the guitar, plays a little ditty. He's officially a bad guy. A lot of
What do
the
you mean
older
he comes
guys
out with a
like
guitar?
he comes out with his guitar.
What do you mean?
Well, they usually start off, actually. We usually come from commercial, and he's in the ring, and the lights are out, a spotlight on him. Ladies and gentlemen, Elias. Yeah. It's good stuff.
Like it's open mic night, and that's how they intro him?
And he'll sing a song about how much he hates the town that he's in. And Craig knows it. Walk with Elias, Tony.
I maybe. How good is the music? I mean, you can't just
it's just kind of there.
Insist upon my loyalty.
It's totally just kind of there. But
so this is like a rehash of like what The Rock used to do. Didn't he used to do this exact same
thing?
thing?
He did do this, except Rock did it once every year and a half.
Yeah, and he sounded a lot like Elvis because The Rock went through a Elvis obsession phase.
Sure,
so,
the sideburns and everything.
Oh my God, it was dramatic.
So I expect. Oh, that's one of the things I noticed that I say "so" too much, and when I watched it again, I say too much. So I'm going to try to work on those. So I need everybody. I just said so. I need everybody to call me out on it.
I'm garbage with filler words, so I'm going to be no help to you whatsoever.
Matt's right.
I apologize.
Elias's music is better than 3MB when the three-man band tried to play. But I like their music, though. I'm a one-man band. Okay. Elimination Chamber is Sunday. One of those guys is going to win.
I have a question.
What's please, Tony?
Yes. Hi. Yes. Here for the hashtag show. Listen, what is the Elimination Chamber?
Oh, excellent question. The Elimination Chamber. I remember when Eric Bischoff presented this, and he said, "I'm making something new, something exciting, something that combines the elements of Hell in the Cell and War Games." And we all went, oh, he said War Games, because we're nerds. and what it is a cage, and each corner is a pod. Everybody comes out, everybody goes in a pod, and then two guys come out.
So there's 4 pods?
Correct.
Okay, got it. Continue.
And then 2 guys come out.
Okay.
And then we believe that it's going to start as a 3-way because they added an extra person. So it'll start with 3 guys fighting, and anybody can be eliminated at any time.
Okay.
And
the elimination is what? Just being tossed out of the ring or pinned?
Pinned or submitted.
Okay.
And
continue.
I think it's every 2 minutes. Maybe it's it's 5 minutes. It used to be 5 minutes. I don't know. Maybe they changed the time, but we'll get a countdown: 3, 2, 1, and then we'll hear. And then we hear boom, 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 and the lights go over. And then somebody comes out of their little pod.
Okay.
The pod, we often are told, is bulletproof, and then they...
Remember Bischoff had this pipe? It was like ding, ding. See? I think a pipe can break this.
Wait, so they're plastic or there's some sort of like...
They are incredibly, you can't ever break... No, they're cheap.
Okay, what do they look like?
Because the door that goes, like it's like a round,
like a revolving door?
Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
It just opens.
Okay.
There's nothing on top.
And then, like, Goldberg speared one and it broke, and then some...
So you can't climb it?
No.
Then what is
But you
the
can
point?
climb on top of it, though.
You can.
Rob Van Dam in the first Elimination Chamber, he did a frog splash off of the pod, and he landed with his shin on Triple H's neck, and Trips was like legitimately messed up.
Yep, broke his.
Is this when he had to be carried out, or am I thinking of something
Well,
else?
it's one of the, no, he did. I don't think he needed to be carried out.
Okay.
You're thinking of the big one.
Okay.
The Matt says that it's 5 minutes for the first, and then it's 2 minutes after every one after that.
I know the Miz is the first one. And
That's right. Miz lost a match, so he has to be one of the 3 first people in there, and Elias is last.
Craig asked, Tony, do you not have the network? You can get all your questions from there. Yeah, dude, don't have the network. I really don't. I'm so sorry. But yeah, I'm excited to be jumping back in because...
I think a big part of this is you were a big fan growing up.
Back in the day, yes, very much so. And essentially 2005-ish is when I just stopped watching consistently. And then I was telling you that my family would go to WrestleManias here and there. Like if we just happened to be in the area, we would literally get phone calls from my dad saying, we're going to WrestleMania. Like, oh, are we? Like, yeah, we are. Okay, great. Well, I'll be there. See you there. And then we just... And it would be like, who's this guy? And like, we wouldn't know. But there would be enough of the people that we obviously recognize, like Undertaker, Cena, Rock, so we would keep up. But it would be the smaller matches that we would just be sort of like, I don't know who this is, but this is great because it's WrestleMania.
Do you have a favorite wrestling moment? Or a couple?
Favorite wrestling moment.
Especially growing up. Like,
you know what? I remember the first time that I was horrified by wrestling, and it's when Sean smacks the shit out of Sherry's face. When this was during his Rick Martel, Shawn Michaels
he
rivalry.
pulled her in the way, right?
Yes, that's what it was.
Yeah.
It was Rick Martel, like, grabbed the mirror because Sherry used to carry this huge heart-shaped mirror for Sean to, like, preen in front of, and that was the whole thing. And Rick Martel was it Rick Martel or maybe I'm thinking of Marty Jannetty? It's Rick Martel, yeah. So Rick the Model Martel, like, grabbed this mirror and tried to hit Sean with it, but he grabbed Sherry and pulls her in front of it, and she's just like, I thought she was dead. I thought we had actually witnessed the first death in WWE history, because she was just good. Like, it was gone, and I didn't understand. I was still young enough that, like, you couldn't tell me about how wrestling was fake. Like, that's how young I was, but that was the moment where I was just like, oh my God, this is. Now
that you mention it, though, it could have been Marty Jannetty.
Let me think.
Feel it might have been,
because that was also around the same time. Because
it could have been.
Yeah, because he got slammed through that window, which was horrible.
Rudemaster 94 stopped watching in 2011, but got back to it recently. Craig is asking what the first pay-per-view we saw was. Mine was WrestleMania 5. It was my cousin. They lived in St. Cloud, Minnesota. I lived in St. Michael, so we drove an hour, 45 minutes to an hour to get there, and it was very exciting.
I mean, my grandmother, my mother's mother, my abuela, she's a huge wrestling fan. So every pay-per-view was like a cookout, family reunion kind of thing, because one person in the family would host it. They'd pay for it, and everybody else would just bring food.
That
helps.
It
was amazing. And honestly, that had been going on throughout all my childhood, so I don't even really honestly know. It's probably very possible that I was there watching my first pay-per-view, and I'm just a tiny baby with a little baby mind that can't, hang on to memories. So,
sure.
But yeah, I every single significant pay-per-view, I was always somewhere where somebody was showing it. If I wasn't with my mom's family, then I was, at my stepmother's aunt down. You know what I mean? Like, there was always an opportunity to go somewhere. Somebody somewhere had pay-per-view, and we were going to watch this, and it was always, that was consistent. That was always just something that happened.
Craig, yours was One Night Stand 2005. You have...
Whoa!
I just know that I recognize your name. I recognize you as somebody who has great wrestling acumen, and I'm surprised that it's only been 13 years that you've been following this.
Wow, so that's been... I remember watching Montreal. I remember watching that, and I remember just, like, thinking, this is going on forever. What is happening?
That was a crazy night.
It was crazy.
Night. Well, in my place, my home in St. Michael, Minnesota, we legitimately did not get cable. We didn't have access to cable.
Really?
So
Where is
often say Hicksville, Minnesota.
Okay.
And Rudemasters WrestleMania 30. Wow, that's just a couple years ago. Oh shit! I said
Oh.
Whenever I wanted to watch a pay-per-view, I had to call my aunt, who was in Rogers, which is just like 15 minutes ago, if my godparents weren't getting it. And I remember asking my other uncle, I was like, I hate having to call Nellie and Brad because that's the only time I call them. And my uncle was like, my Uncle Kelly was like, that's what family is. You just call each other when you need each other. That's all it is. I was like, okay.
That's
fine. Works for me.
It's cool. It's all right.
And they were always so nice. Always so nice.
No, yeah, so it's been, I don't even know if I'd be able to actually would have let down. Maybe my mom would know. I don't know. Maybe she would. She is always whipping out those really weird, random tidbits about my childhood.
Yeah.
It's like, don't you remember that? I was like, I was 3. Why would I remember that? I didn't have the capacity to actually retain memory. But
T-Wolf started in 96. Now we're talking. We're getting closer.
I was 12 by then. To me, that's late.
Well, sure. Same here. I mean, I started in 87.
Yeah.
Raw had not only that amazing... Well, first of all, it had that gauntlet match that Seth Rollins not only won, but he went over an hour. He beat Roman Reigns clean. He beat John Cena clean with his finisher.
The Cena match was the hour.
That was at the hour?
That was 1 hour long.
Wait.
Reigns was 30 minutes. Cena was an hour.
Reigns was 30
On
minutes.
Raw?
Cena was an hour. So Roman did an hour and a half. Or I'm sorry, Seth did an hour and a half.
90 minutes.
T-Wolf's first pay-per-view was Bash at the Beach 96. Do you remember what Bash at the Beach 96 was?
No.
Bash at the Beach 96 was the night that Hogan turned evil and joined the NWO. That's an incredible way to start.
No. I have thoughts on NWO. You all know, so that's fine.
I don't.
No,
What are your thoughts on the NWO?
I can't stand NWO. I did not like NWO. I didn't like the hook, didn't like the look of it. I didn't like anything about NWO other than the fact that, like, oh, these were all guys that I used to love, and now they are a Hooters bike gang. Great. See you at bike night.
I mean, that's part of it. I think we were supposed to hate them. It's just that
Mission
they were
accomplished.
So,
Okay, so my brother is only a year younger than me, and, like, of course, we were so close in age, so then we just had to disagree about everything, because that's how siblings work. So he just was so in love with NWO, and I'm like, no, this isn't good. It's too much leather. It's too much. No, it's not even good leather. It's the cheap, shiny pleather. It's not good, guys. Let's not do this. I didn't like it. The two-tone, really? The two-tone Fu Manchu?
Oh, yeah, Hogan was ridiculous.
Why?
Hogan was ridiculous.
And the extensions aren't even working right. Like, dude, don't do that.
Yeah, those were messed up. Now, was there any point where you're like, Hogan, Holland, Nash, that's interesting? Or was it, as Craig says, when Vincent came into the NWO and Horace Hogan... Hogan's nephew, Horace. DiBiase, I wouldn't... Well, or was it right? Was it right from the top for you?
What?
That you hated it?
I just didn't like it. I didn't like it. Well, first off, to see...
Matt, I'm with Matt. Hooters biker gang?
Yes, you've seen them. You go to bike night at Hooters, and it's like the wild hogs. It's the dudes that are like, they're firmly in their 50s, and they're just trying to, like, be part of the biker gang that their mom would never let them be a part of when they were actual teenagers, so... It's not a good look. I don't like it.
Okay.
No me gusta. No.
What were your thoughts when Scott Hall initially came through the audience? Do you remember that? And he interrupted Mean Mike Enos, and I forget the other guy.
Is this on Nitro? That
it was
this
on
happened?
Nitro, yeah.
Okay, so again, my brother and I would just argue, and this is like in the middle of the Monday Night Wars, and... I did not care about Nitro. I didn't care about the WCW at all. I just I would try to watch it, and I'm like, I don't like the announcers. I was so firmly a WWE fangirl, and I'm like, I just couldn't even deal with it. So me and my brother would just constantly argue about flipping back and forth between the channels. And some nights I won, and sometimes we would just, watch Raw for the rest of the night. And some nights I wouldn't, and I would just be like, all right, I'm going to my room. I'm not gonna stand for this. And
I'll tell you, I mean, my buddy. It was mainly my buddy Alex and I, and then Jake and Jeremy and I when we went to college. But Alex and I went to the first Nitro, which was at the Mall of America in Bloomington, Minnesota. And when Luger came out,
yes,
I remember specifically, I was in the crowd, but I couldn't see who it was, and Alex was in a different area. We kind of split up, and we were wandering around, and I went, "Who was that?" And he went, "It's fucking Luger, dude." And in my head, I was like, "Luger, what's he doing here?" Which is probably exactly what Eric Bischoff said at the time. But there was that, and then they did the video with Mike Rotunda, who was IRS. And
Ira.
When we went back to Alex's place, we made a list, because we were WWF loyalists. We went to Nitro, but we were WWF guys. And Alex was like, okay, we need to make a list of our guys and their guys and figure out, who's got the advantage here.
Yeah. And
we still had the advantage, but, when the NWO started, that was when it all turned.
No, yeah, it definitely started to shift. And so to go from, like, Hulkamania, like Hulk, and then to, Jeff at Hooters kind of like look at Hulk, and I'm just like, I can't deal with this. I can't. I don't like it.
Again, you were supposed to hate him. So
you were. I was. It was such a dramatic. It didn't feel authentic the way that the Attitude Era in WWE felt to me. It was like, I buy The Rock's, turn to heel just because that makes sense, and also it's a really good look. I buy, I buy whenever these guys were showing up, just like DX. That makes sense because, it's fun and it's, irreverent and yay. And then NWO was just like a bunch of angry 40, 50-year-olds. All right. I'm sorry you're not 20. I'm sorry you're not in the prime of your life.
It's kind of
Be
funny
bitter
because
about aging. Okay, great.
because he did that beard thing because he was like, okay, well, I got to look like a bad guy. He didn't realize he'd look like a stupid bad guy, but he did it. But it reminds me of when Punk slicked his hair back.
Yes.
And he did it because he literally said in an interview, I wanted to look like an evil lawyer, a bad guy lawyer from
From the 80s?
From the movies.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Just like a Miami Vice drug dealer.
Exactly.
Mission accomplished, man. It's a good look. It looked good. You have to look good if people are going to buy into it. Otherwise, people are just going to be like, oh, that's what you're doing?
Absolutely. We've discussed this before, but I believe that Roman Reigns is going to win the Elimination Chamber. And then go on and face
Is he the
Brock
favorite?
Lesnar. Well, he lost real early in the Gauntlet Match,
Okay.
which is kind of like a couple of weeks ago I talked about the rule. You remember this. If there was a tag team match,
Yes.
tag team title match on the pay-per-view,
Yes.
let's go to the Raw before that. They have one guy from one team face one guy from the other team. And whoever won that match,
Yeah.
their team lost the tag team match at the pay-per-view.
Yes.
It happened all the time.
Yes.
And I think this is an extension of that with Roman getting jobbed out so early in the Gauntlet Match.
Okay. Can I ask why Roman is supposed to be like the future of WWE? Because he's a good-looking guy, but other than is he?
I don't know why Vince loves him so much. I think he's good. I don't think he's the next Hogan or Cena.
Is it because he's supposed to be The Rock Jr.? Because I'm getting those vibes off of him.
He is his cousin.
He is his cousin.
Figures.
But I don't think... I just don't see him as the guy.
Okay.
And I think that Vince probably went in on him early and just hasn't changed his mind. That's what I think.
Okay. All right. Is there anybody here that you would just be like livid if they were the one to win?
I'm looking at that list. Maybe Cena, but
Really?
But I really, really, really don't want Roman to win. So it's not even livid. I can't even get livid. I just go...
At what point do you just like put down your drink, walk out of the room, and just be like, well, I'm done here?
I was talking with a buddy on the phone on the way here, and I kind of put it this way, where at WrestleMania, Vince is covering all of his bases. Mm-hmm. On the Raw side, it's going to be Roman and Brock. And I don't give a fuck about that match. And maybe it'll be good. Who knows? The match actually could be good. Who knows?
Could be good, yeah.
But I don't want Roman to be the face of the company. Meanwhile, so they're doing that for the kids. And then on the other side, SmackDown's main event for their championship is Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles. And that's for me. That's for me and Junior and Joe. And so it's everything. They're doing everything for everything. Everything for everybody. Everybody gets something.
Okay.
What else did we have? We had an hour and a half match. We had, what was the women's tag match? That was the main event.
Tag match.
6-women tag match.
It was Bayley, Sasha Banks, Mickie James versus Mandy Rose, Alexis Bliss, and Sonya Deville.
Mickie James
Helped
Alexa Bliss win. So we're wondering how that's going to affect. The women are in the Elimination Chamber as well.
Are they?
Yeah, in their own.
Okay.
Not the same one. That would be silly.
Yeah, I don't know any of these gals.
I'm a big fan. Let's look at those pictures. I like Bayley. I think she's great. I think most people would like her. I don't know what happened to her. So you're familiar with NXT, right?
Yes.
Okay. She was great in NXT, brought her to the main roster. It's not there anymore for some reason. I think it can come back. Sasha Banks, she's quite good. Do you remember? You remember Mickie James?
Vaguely.
She was back then.
Vaguely.
And she's doing great now. Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville are both very new. They're part of this bad
Those
guy.
are some great names.
Yeah.
Deville, what the,
And Alexa
nice.
Bliss is the Raw Women's Champion, and I think she is great as well.
Okay.
Matt, you're right. It might not be AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura. But
Why wouldn't it be?
Because at Fastlane, there is a 5-person It's just a regular 5-way match, right? First pin wins for the title. Is it for the title or for the shot?
Title.
Who's all in there? We got
Zayn, AJ.
Sami Zayn, AJ Styles, Kevin Owens, Baron Corbin, and Dolph Ziggler. Okay. Do you know Dolph Ziggler?
Yeah, of course.
I love that guy. I also love Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn, they had talked about how we're going for the championship. We're gonna do everything that we can. We're gonna fight for the championship. And then I guess at some point during SmackDown tonight, Sami Zayn came up to Kevin Owens and said, "Listen, we're gonna get rid of them all, and I'm just gonna lay down for you, and you're gonna be the champ." And the look on Kevin Owens' face was like, "I'm not so sure that's true. I think you might be lying." I like everybody in that match except Baron Corbin. Holy cats, There's your livid. There's your livid.
Which one's he?
He's the really cool one on the left.
Oh, no. Okay. All right.
I truly don't get it.
It's not a good look, guy. Okay. All right. But yeah, I mean, is he any good?
I don't think so. Junior shaking
his head. Yeah. Okay. So not good. So he's there because
Vince wants to push him.
He's got stringy hair?
He really does have the stringy hair.
Oh, I always hate that look. Cut your hair, dude. Yeah, okay, great. Yeah, stringy hair, tattoos, sleeveless. All right, yeah, I've seen it.
Okay, very good.
Okay, yeah.
I used to like his music, and then they changed it. Music was the best thing about him. I liked that.
And now what is it?
I don't even remember. It's not iconic.
That's upsetting.
Do you know who AJ Styles is?
Yes, I'm familiar. Yeah.
You know, so you didn't watch WCW. I'm assuming you did not watch. Craig says Baron Corbin looks like a dog. He's kind of right. Were you familiar with Impact Wrestling at all? TNA? Impact?
Yeah, but, just, again, I wasn't watching. I was just aware of it.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Is that where you first heard of AJ Styles?
No, I mean, like I said...
He was there for a long time, and I kept hoping that he would make the jump. But he seemed to be one of those guys that were like, TNA has invested in me, they believe in me, and I'm going to pay back their loyalty with my loyalty. And then there was just a point where it was like, man, TNA sucks. And he went to New Japan, and then he came here. And I say here, Craig knows the music. A lot of it, AJ is very popular, and rightfully so.
Okay.
Speaking of Impact, there's a new member announced for the WWE Hall of Fame. His name is Jeff Jarrett.
Oh.
What do you think about Jeff Jarrett?
I love Double J. Okay. So I love anybody that is willing to come out to the ring in sequins and mirrors and any kind of... that's what I grew up in. I grew up in these shticky, gimmicky wrestlers, and I loved it. I loved these characters, and they just weren't like hyped up alter egos of, other people. It wasn't just people tapping into their inner douchebag and becoming an outer douchebag, I liked these gimmicky wrestlers. And Jeff Jarrett was, for a while, there was definitely people, as we got into the Attitude Era, it was all about leather and black and just angst. And
You
it was just...
hate leather.
I don't hate leather. I hate cheap-looking leather. That is a distinction to be made. And, yeah, but Double J for a long while was like the guy hanging on to that for a good long time. And, yeah,
it's funny you say that.
I always enjoyed him.
Because there was the time where he was going to join the Four Horsemen. And do you hate the Horsemen, too?
Not a fan.
Of any version of the Horsemen?
Okay. Let me look up. Were there other?
Yeah.
Well, tell me your Four Horsemen.
Am I thinking of them correctly? Yeah, the old school ones with Ric Flair. Is that who I'm thinking of, right? I'm thinking, yeah, that's...
Who did you find there? Oh, that's them with James J. Dillon.
Yeah.
J. Dillon. My favorite Four Horsemen is Flair, Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, and Barry Windham. It's difficult to say this now, but I also was a huge, huge fan of... Who was it? It was Flair, Benoit, Brian Pillman and Dean Malenko. At
Yes.
that time, it was like, these guys are... I'm sorry?
Ronda McMichaels. There's no Brian Pillman.
Pillman was a horseman.
Not in that time. It was Benoit, Malenko.
I think they did. I think they were both eras. I don't know if you guys can hear, but Junior's calling me out on horseman stuff. I believe there was... Yeah, oh, shit. I just remember when the Four Horsemen were having issues with the Dungeon of Doom, which, talking about characters, was when that was like the last extremely horribly gimmicky thing to come out. Oh,
Yeah.
because they had the Shark, too. They had Brutus as the Zodiac Warrior. They had the Shark, which was Earthquake. But there was a time where it was kind of neat because there was kind of a summit. It was like The Godfather, where there was a summit inside the ring with Kevin Sullivan representing the Dungeon of Doom, and Arn Anderson came out representing the Horsemen. Mm-hmm. And they both had a couple of guys behind them. And Kevin Sullivan was like, "Hey, Anderson, you need your guys. You got to get your guys to respect tradition and what we have here." And Pillman, who I fucking loved, Pillman went up and he says, "We don't have to respect anybody. We're the Horsemen." And he gets right in Kevin Sullivan's face, and Arn Anderson slapped him good, and the look that Pillman gave Arn Anderson was like, "How dare you slap me?" And it was so emotional and impactful. And I don't think all that much
I'm going to have
came
to
of
find
it.
this clip because I definitely haven't seen it. But
Yeah, so you're right.
Okay, so they were. But the thing is, they.
how dare you come to this house and
Well,
question him?
I've been wrong
Anderson
recently. That's right. Yeah.
Craig Anderson wants to know if I like anything.
You seem to be very well. As
I
long
like
as-
Jeff Jarrett. I
Is-
just went
is-
on about how much I love Jeff Jarrett. So yeah, I definitely do like things. There were just some things where I'm just like, yeah, not so much. It wasn't my jam. Not that I didn't appreciate people and what they were doing. It's just like I was. Yeah, like even Kevin said, like some people were just designed for me to hate, and like, well, mission accomplished then, because I definitely just did not like certain incarnations of wrestlers. So
I'm not going to try because I don't think I'll find one, but I want to do a search for Jeff Jarrett wearing black leather and see what happens.
I'll do it.
No,
I'm on
you're
it.
not going to find it.
I'm on it.
You're not
I'm
going to
on
find
it.
it. I don't
Hang
think
on.
so.
Let's see, Jeff Jarrett.
And
Okay.
Jeff, so I think it's no question. I've seen a lot of people bitching online about Jeff Jarrett being inducted in the Hall of Fame.
Why? How dare you?
I don't know. Junior, you're on board, right? It makes sense.
Man, he was a 6-time Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah.
He was a 6-time Intercontinental Champion.
3-time WCW World Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah, 3-time
He was
WCW.
IC Champion and European Champion at the same time.
True. Yep. He held double gold.
He had some good matches with Razor.
Did you find?
I mean, yeah, there's some black leathery. I mean, but he's still got a guitar in his hands. I mean, and even then, this is
not really black leather.
No, it's not. I mean, it's the closest I can get. It's sort of like a.
No, that's what I'm saying. If the closest you can't get.
Oh man, this is what I want: the acid
That
wash
was-
lame with sequins and mirrors.
She just found a picture of Jeff Jarrett drop kicking.
Is this Shawn Michaels?
Shawn Michaels.
Yep.
And I remember that match that's in your house, and it was a
Look at
really,
this.
really good match. And the Oscars were happening that day as well. It was a very difficult day to go from room to room.
Look how beautiful he is! My God, look
All
at
right.
this! Look at that sequins, stars everywhere.
okay.
White lycra.
All right,
That's the
I'm
look,
tapping
man.
out. I'm tapping out on the Jeff Jarrett is attractive.
I don't even know if he's attractive. I was just like, that's a look, and you're committing to it. Good for you, man.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
What do you think should have done him?
Who will induct Jeff Jarrett into the Hall of Fame? That's a very good question. Man, that's a really good question.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I've got.
Road Dogg?
Maybe they'll bring in Dixie Carter. Road Dogg. Absolutely Road Dogg. That's a very good guess.
I'm not going to be mad about anybody who does that, but yeah, I don't have an answer for you.
No, I think Road Dogg is good. I think
Yeah.
it's a good guess. They were fun. They were fun together. And, Road Dogg is the one who sang With My Baby Tonight for real, as opposed to Jeff Jarrett. That's true. Eric Young, or Bobby Roode. I don't know about Drew. What?
AJ.
I'm sorry?
AJ.
AJ could induct him. Sure. Yeah, that would be good. What else? Okay, so what happened tonight on SmackDown? I need you guys to tell me your favorite things that happened on SmackDown tonight, because I missed a lot of it, and I'm going through reading it, but reading it isn't very exciting.
Yeah, it's not. You have a Ghostbusters sticker on your laptop? I just noticed that.
That's because I do not fear any ghost.
It's my favorite movie of all time.
That's,
Kevin, we just became best friends. I hope you're fine with that.
I'm fine with that.
Okay, I'm shoehorning myself into
I've
your life.
I've had an opening ever since Junior hit me last week.
You hit him?
Well, I deserved it.
What'd you do?
I was doing the wrong thing. I should listen to Junior more often.
What were you doing? Were you wearing Crocs? What were you doing?
Crocs.
Yeah, that's a thing no one should be doing.
Were
you wearing Crocs?
I was not wearing Crocs.
Okay.
We were at the Doctor Who convention this past weekend, and there was a guest that I love who always wear Crocs. You know who I'm talking about?
Is it Stephen Moffat?
It is not Stephen Moffat.
Stephen Moffat wears Crocs. I have to believe that. But okay, who was it?
The Seventh Doctor, Sylvester McCoy. He wears Crocs everywhere.
He's Sylvester McCoy. He can do whatever the hell he wants. So
let's do a little sidebar here because I was at the Doctor Who convention this past weekend, and it's one of the reasons that I've been missing so many of these things because we were doing rehearsals and whatnot. But we did a sketch show, and the night before we did the sketch show, a friend of mine is kind of friends with Stephen Moffat, and we're doing a scene. I was kind of directing a scene actually, and then fucking Stephen Moffat just comes in, sits down, and watches us and talks to her, and I'm like, really? The boss of Doctor Who for the last 8 years is going to come watch us do a fucking sketch show? And luckily, there was a scene which we did not do where I curse his name. I say, "Curse you, Moffat!"
Yes.
It was crazy. It was crazy to see Stephen Moffat there, and then just have to fucking not lose my shit.
You a fan of the Moffat?
I have issues with Mr. Stephen Moffat.
Me too.
Grand issues. We did a sketch a couple of years ago where we went back in time and we were going to kill Moffat as a kid. We did it.
I love it. Let's do it.
We did it like, do you remember Doctor Who Season 9 where there were the hand mines and all that bullshit?
Yes.
And there was the little kid was like,
with
please help me,
Davros,
please help me. Well, we replaced Stephen Moffat with Davros.
Yeah.
Or Davros with Stephen Moffat.
Davros, yeah.
And then I pulled out the whisk. I was like, I'm going to save my show.
Pull out the whisk.
It was pretty good. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. Okay, back to the TV
We'll talk
wrestling.
later about this, yes.
Jinder. I like Jinder's music, too. Right? Is that how it works? He only has one annoying little lapdog, which is terrible. I guess that other guy... Who are the brothers, Junior?
Singh brothers.
The Singh brothers. One of them, got... What happened to him?
Funny. Jeff Jarrett is the one that brought in the Singh brothers to TNA.
Jeff Jarrett? Okay, well, that's working all other. Okay, Baron... Oh, great. Baron Corbin laid out everybody to end the show.
Oh.
I hate that guy.
Did you choke him out with his stringy hair? Is that what happened?
Yeah. I do think, luckily, I'm pretty sure that AJ is going to retain his championship, and we're going to get that great AJ and Shinsuke match come WrestleMania. What are the other matches?
Have you seen, real fast,
Sure.
the little skits with Shinsuke and AJ? When AJ's like walking around backstage pissed, and then you see Shinsuke's like, I'm gonna beat you at Mania.
It is kind of silly, yes.
And AJ's like, what? He's like, it's hilarious.
I hope, can you guys hear what Junior's saying? Because it's pretty funny. It's he's talking about Shinsuke Nakamura backstage, occasionally just kind of sliding in and taunting AJ Styles. I'm going to beat you at WrestleMania. Reminds me of Cheers. Do you remember Cheers? And
the show?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Woody Harrelson had his girlfriend, and there was this guy, this fucking jerk. I think he was French even. I think that helped. And he would say, Woody, I'm going to steal your girlfriend. And he did it like all the time, and it was a joke. He's like, I hate that guy. I'm going to steal your girlfriend, Woody. Cheers was fine.
Yeah, what are the other WrestleMania matches?
Well, let's hold off on WrestleMania.
Okay, are we still talking about...
That's right. Good job, Craig. Thank you for helping.
No,
the New Day are the number one contenders for the tag titles. They're going to face the Usos for the tag titles at Fastlane. Do you know anything about the New Day?
Mm-mm.
I think you would like the New Day.
I would or I wouldn't?
You would. And I think you would like them more than I might now, because they've been doing the same thing. We've been talking recently how it's time for them to break up. But if you're just going to see them for the first time, they're just like three dudes, and they just like to have fun, and they eat pancakes.
This is me all over it. Oh, my God. Are they still in the neon, shiny lame?
Yeah. See when dressed as Dragon Ball.
Oh, yeah, they came out at WrestleMania all dressed like Dragon Ball Z characters.
Goku hair.
Really?
Yeah.
So all right. I'm gonna have to look into them because I like people who look like they enjoy wrestling. I really do. Too many people walk into that ring and they just look upset that they're there. They're upset at life. They're upset about everything. And it's like, dude, you get to toss people around and everyone's going to love you for it. Do you know how much I wish I could just like smack the shit out of somebody and just have like my outro music as I leave a room just start playing? Like that is my dream.
But conversely, you liked Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I do though.
Okay.
Because you could see that he felt happy inside, even though like his face was just in that constant resting bitch face at all times.
I remember my buddy and I, this is in 1998, we went to London. We went to Europe. My buddy Jake. And Austin was obviously huge. And we just got to London and we were walking. And Jake says to me, "Do you have a Stone Cold Steve Austin walk?" And I instantly went into it. And he was like, "You went right into the Stone Cold Steve Austin
you do.
walk."
You have to. With the double knee brace? Yeah, man. I got that down.
I don't think he had him at the time. I think he had good knees at the time. Maybe not.
Those were the days.
We have the Elimination Chamber match. Oh, also at the Elimination Chamber, Asuka faces Nia Jax. Asuka, I love Asuka. I'm in love with Asuka.
Okay.
She's great.
Let's take a look.
She's undefeated in a whole bunch of time.
Is this who I'm looking at?
Yeah. That's
okay.
Asuka is going to face Nia Jax. And if Nia Jax wins, she is added to the championship match at WrestleMania, and it becomes a triple threat. And I don't think they're going to make Asuka lose her first match, the pay-per-view before WrestleMania, as far as Raw is concerned. But that'll be good. That should be a fun match. Asuka's great. Like, not only do I think she's like, I could dive into her eyes and live there forever, but I think that she is, she's an amazing fighter. And Nia's a good match for her. It should be fun. Asuka's the female Goldberg, Craig says. And he's right, because she is she's undefeated. More undefeated than Goldberg was. Do you remember the Goldberg's undefeated numbers? 1 week he was like, okay, he's 56-0. We go back a week later. All right, he's 72-0. Really? Did he have 14?
Yes.
I don't know how many matches he's had in the past
he
week.
absolutely did. Yes. Oh, that's okay. So this is at WrestleMania. All right, then I'm gonna.
Well, that's at the Elimination. That's Sunday.
Oh, okay.
And if Nia wins, she's added to the match at WrestleMania.
Oh, cool. Okay.
What else do we have, Junior? What else is in? Oh, Bray Wyatt. Oh man, you have so much to learn about Matt Hardy.
Okay, go on.
So Bray Wyatt,
go on.
He's just like a hillbilly guy. He's like a hillbilly cult guy.
Okay.
Matt Hardy. Over the past few years, he's become a very broken man.
Continue.
In the terms that it happened in Impact. It happened in TNA first. And they created this character where he like got really messed up after he went through a table or something, I think. And he became broken. And instead of being just like Matt Hardy, what's up, Mr. Luera? I am absolutely ready for Asuka. I don't know what you're talking about, T-Wolf. Don't spread that rumor, T-Roof. I'm ready for Asuka.
Just in case she's listening.
I get it. Craig's getting a little tired of Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy. Hopefully they'll do something fun here, and then.
How long has the feud been going on?
It's been a couple of months, which is weird because back in our day,
feuds went on for years.
Yeah.
But I get it. Yeah.
Wait, Alexa and Braun are cousins in real life? Is that true? Oh, Craig's right on it. So Matt became broken, and he would speak in grand ways, and he would say that I've become a vessel for warriors of the past, and the vessel that you carry, Bray Wyatt, will. And then he's crazy. He's just wonderfully crazy.
This is Matt Hardy?
Yes.
Okay, continue.
And he laughs silly. Oh, yes.
Why does he sound like Jim Jones? This is terrible.
Well, okay. Well, the comparison is...
The Kool-Aid man.
That's more Bray Wyatt, to be honest.
Really? Okay.
Anyways, so exactly. Yeah, it was back in TNA. I said that, Matt. I said it. To the point where back in TNA, they didn't even have a regular match. They went out and onto the Hardy compound, and they had a match all over their several-acre yard.
Okay.
And it was and they had a ring out there, and they shot fireworks at each other, and
As you do.
it was very fun. And they have to bring that. They haven't done that. First of all, they were having a tough time bringing the intellectual property of Broken Matt Hardy over here to WWE from Impact, but they just got it taken care of. And now Matt can be as broken or woken or whatever he wants, as much as he wants. What else do we have? We got the 2 Elimination Chamber matches.
Apollo Crews and
Cruz. We dropped Cruz. So he's
This
just
is
Apollo.
all this Sunday.
yeah,
is what we're talking about. Okay.
Yesterday was Titus O'Neil and Cruz versus the Bar.
That's right, because they beat them on Raw.
Yeah.
Titus O'Neil and Apollo Crews, who is now just Apollo, versus Cesaro. You don't know who Cesaro is, do you?
No.
Cesaro he was just like this close to breaking out as a single star, and Vince was like, "Nah, I don't like him," and it kind of sucks because he's really fucking good. But Cesaro and Sheamus, do you know who Sheamus is?
Of course. Is he still like fluorescent?
Yes.
Or they started spray tanning him?
And he's got himself a mohawk, like a serious
Like a proper ginger.
Well,
mohawk?
like a punk, like a 1970s punk mohawk. You said something about spray tan just a moment ago, right?
Yes.
I'm going to tell you a little something about Sheamus and spray tan. That son of a bitch. A few years ago, I went to San Diego Comic-Con dressed as the Macho Man Randy Savage.
Oh, God bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to meet CM Punk. And I was doing this thing on the internet. It was called CM Punk is Not Impressed. I would Photoshop CM Punk looking not impressed at a lot of silly stuff. And it was a thing for a while. It was fun. WWE started making T-shirts that said CM Punk is not impressed, which was, I was happy for them, but I was like, all right, that's great. Anyway, so I really wanted a picture with CM Punk being legitimately not impressed with me and giving me the look. And I waited in line. And but I am not the ideal physique for a guy not to be wearing a shirt anywhere, much less Comic-Con.
All evidence to the contrary, Kevin.
Okay, well, thank you so much. But one thing I did do is I did spray tan my chest I try to do whatever I could to improve the image. Mm-hmm. So I'm waiting in line, and first there's Zack Ryder, and then there's Sheamus, and then there's CM Punk, just like, the last bad guy in a video game. He's the last last thing you go to. Zack Ryder, very nice, signed a thing for me. I get to Sheamus, and Sheamus goes, "Are you wearing bronzer?"
Mother effer.
And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Hey, Punk, this one's wearing bronzer." You son of a bitch. And Punk says to me, this tall, thin, dorky motherfucker in a cape, "So are you the Macho Man or a gypsy?" And I said, I'll tell you exactly how I said it, which is not very firmly. I said, "I'm the Macho Man Randy Savage." And he went, "Oh, okay." And there we go.
You're a dead man,
we
Sheamus.
go.
How fucking dare you just crush the dreams of people left and right.
Wasn't very nice, Sheamus. Do we have anything else for the Elimination Chamber? We got the bar. I'm sorry? Ronda Rousey is signing her contract.
Hey!
We were talking about it last week. We're not sure. I wonder how the fans are going to respond, because a lot of people have been kind of dickish online. They're like, "Why does she just get to come in and be a star?" And I'm like, because she's a fucking star.
It's true.
Maybe that should do it.
I mean, yeah, I get. Well, she's not the first to make the jump, right, from MMA to WWE.
It's been a while.
Shamrock.
Yeah, and those guys, that's Attitude Era time.
Yeah.
But not even that. I just think the fact that she's Ronda Rousey, I think she's a household name.
Yeah, she is.
I think that WWE is lucky to have her, and we'll see what happens. See if they turn her into evil.
Which I think they should.
I think they might not have a choice if the crowd starts booing her right away. Kind of like Floyd Mayweather. I don't think he wasn't supposed to be a bad guy, but
Play into it. You may as well, because, I mean...
He was supposed to be Rey Mysterio's buddy, and then everybody was booing Floyd Mayweather, and then they were like, okay, we're going to keep Rey Mysterio over here.
I mean, I think, the smart thing to do is just basically give her, the Rock model, where you just try to intend for her to be a good guy. You go ahead, turn her heel, because obviously the crowd is not cooperating, and then eventually, somewhere along the way, you shift her over.
Yeah?
It's been done plenty of times. I mean, but yeah, if you just try to go ahead and make it like, yeah, this is the good guy, and it's like, oh, you know better. You have social media now. People aren't on board with that.
I think the WrestleMania plan is Triple H and Stephanie versus Ronda Rousey, and I'm guessing probably Kurt Angle.
Really?
Yes. So I think Trips is going to show up very shortly after the Elimination Chamber.
I heard an interesting scenario today.
Junior heard an interesting scenario.
Go
what do you
on.
got?
Rollins is backstage, sees Jason Jordan.
Okay, well, first of all, this is somebody's fan fiction that they typed out.
This is Meltzer.
Okay.
Okay. Gets into a thing with Jason Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Kurt Angle gets into it. Rollins starts doing something with Angle. Then they start heating up, and then it's going to be Rollins Angle at WrestleMania.
Okay, so I don't know how much of that you guys heard, but it builds to Rollins and Angle at WrestleMania. That would be fun.
Okay.
But then who do you team Ronda with? If you can't get The Rock, which I'm
That
guessing
is
they
the
can.
logical choice, I mean, to be quite honest.
Right. I don't think they're going to be able to get The Rock. He's a busy fucking guy.
Is he doing anything this year?
I don't know.
He just, put out, 6 new movies right now, so...
I don't think he stops. I don't think The Rock stops.
Plus, all those contracts pretty much say he can't be wrestling and all that,
Yeah, his contracts are probably pretty...
He doesn't have to wrestle. I mean, come on now. When's the last time he actually had a proper...
I think the last time he did, though, he, fucked himself up early in the match. I don't know. Who knows? So we got the contract. We'll see how the crowd reacts to her.
Okay.
We'll see what happens.
But, I mean, we do have to go ahead and get somebody huge for that. You just can't pull anybody out, right?
It's not going to be, as much as I wish, Elias and Ronda Rousey. I would love it, though.
You just want the open mic. That's what you want. You want
What
the
was fun?
performance.
Who won the mixed match challenge tonight? Do you know even what the match was?
It was
Somebody help us out. Let's have somebody in the chat tell us what the match was.
I think it was Bobby Roode.
The Rock.
Bobby Roode and Charlotte versus...
Let's see. Craig says The Rock is filming a movie around WrestleMania this year. Okay, but it's one day, and New Orleans is pretty easy to get to. I mean, where is it? So actually, let's look that up. What is The Rock doing? Let's see.
I thought you were going to type, what is The Rock doing? And I wanted to see what the answer was.
He should have a Snapchat. I would totally be in
The thing with Elias, he was tagging with... Oh, Matt says maybe Bobby Lashley. God, we'll see. I've been really down on that guy, but I haven't seen him do good stuff yet. Are they still talking about Big Trouble? No, it still just says announced. They can't do that movie.
Let's see.
But, okay, it was Charlotte and Bobby versus Nia Jax and Apollo. I'm assuming Charlotte and Bobby won, Craig?
Isn't he doing Black Fast and Furious spinoff?
I don't know.
With him
The Rock, it's been announced, but they haven't.
with him and
IMDb doesn't have a start date.
Statham?
Yeah.
But the reason I brought up this mixed match challenge is that Elias and Bayley were a tag team.
Okay.
And they opened up one segment with Elias and Bayley both with guitars. And it was great. It was great.
Do you really think Ronda Rousey has guitar skills?
I don't think Bayley does either.
Fair enough.
Charlotte and Bobby won.
Okay.
What did they call it? The Road Warriors. That's what somebody online called them, and they took it. Because it's like the Road Warriors, but they both wear fancy robes. That's great.
Fancy robe? I'm not going to say no to a fancy robe.
But I think as far as the Elimination Chamber and this week's Raw and SmackDown, I think that might be most of what we got. Is there anything that, Junior, you think we should be covering?
Combined pay-per-views?
Pay-per-views after WrestleMania are going to be Raw and SmackDown. Right now they're brand specific. There's only Raw ones and only SmackDown ones with the exception of the Royal Rumble.
Okay. Okay. And the idea is to what? Just give
I think it's
more
just because,
opportunity to...
Well, the idea of that, was to give more opportunity, but I don't think they're doing very well with that. And it's just a real hassle. It's twice as many pay-per-views.
Yeah.
That's too much.
I mean, you guys...
It's me driving from the valley to here an extra time a month.
Well, you guys just told me right now. I didn't know this. I didn't know that there was a pay-per-view. There's one a month now,
yeah.
So there's 12 a year? Like, seriously? That's not...
I think there's more.
Are pay-per-views still like a shit ton of money? I mean, like, how much are they now?
Well, if you got the network,
oh,
it's $10
really?
a month, and that's it, yeah.
So you have to have the network in order to see the pay-per-view?
Well, I mean, you can still pay $65 to watch it in high def.
Really? Okay. Okay.
I feel like I am neglecting Joe's duties. Joe would be happy to tell you
Which is
that the hashtag show has a store at TeePublic.
Do we?
Yeah. You can go get some those fancy T-shirts that Joe likes to wear.
Would we call his T-shirts fancy?
What's the one? I don't know. There are actually some decent designs. You should check it out, and they're comfy.
Okay.
Those T-shirts.
I don't know. I actually have never been to the TeePublic store. So
I do know.
All right, I'm gonna take your word for it.
Where is Joe now again?
He's at a press junket right now.
Always with the press junket. Jeff, that guy's busy.
Interviewing Duncan Jones.
Where do we find you, Miss Tony Sanchez?
On the internet?
Yeah, or where are you going now?
Just in
And
general.
where will you be tomorrow morning?
Well, I'm sure there's a stalker or two out there that would like to know that, but I'm gonna make it a challenge. Yeah. Do your work. Do some homework. Come on now. But no, you can find me on all the social media at the Tony Sanchez. It's Tony with an I, Sanchez with a Z. Yeah. So come be my friend.
What other projects do you do for the hashtag show?
Well, actually, this Thursday I'll be on DC Watchtower. We didn't have a show last week, so we're going to be jumping back into it this week. Very excited about that.
Now, is that DC shows or comics?
It's DC shows, and we touch a little bit on the comics, but yeah, it's been sort of light on the comics news, but it's mostly all-encompassing. So we try to touch on TV, movies, and comics, but
okay,
yeah, we're supposed to be keeping these shows to an hour, but I don't think I've actually ever done a show where it's hit 1 hour yet. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. And then after that, you guys can still see me on Marvel Infinity Watch every Monday. And I think that's everything. Am I supposed to be anywhere else this week? We don't know. So yeah. But yeah, Mondays and Thursdays, Marvel and DC. Those are my jams.
Very good. Very good.
What about you?
When Doctor Who comes back, I'll be doing that.
Hey.
And other than that, I got about 73 jobs. I'm exaggerating. It's not more than 40.
Yeah.
And I'm online at Kevin Kittredge. Facebook, not Facebook, but Twitter and Instagram. Facebook, I'm just Kevin Kittredge. You don't want to be my friend on Facebook, though. It's all just Doctor Who, pro wrestling, and my liberal rants. You don't want any of it.
That's that's everything I want.
But man, oh man, what a nice time talking to Miss Tony Sanchez.
Yeah.
We'll do it again.
Yeah, I'm sorry that I'm not more versed. I'm going to try to catch up and actually jump back into it.
She's on her way back.
Yeah, man.
We're bringing her back in.
Thank you for including me on this. This is nice.
Cheers, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.